Good morning. Welcome inside the studio. Rebecca Lowe alongside Robbie Earle and Phil Neville, who we don't often get the time to sort of get stuck into, let's put it that way, about Manchester United. So that is where we're going to start this morning. I asked you yesterday, Phil, whether or not Erik ten Hag was to blame, whether or not he should be the fall guy. I know yesterday you said absolutely not because there are other issues, and we ran out of time to really get stuck into some of those. So my question is, what do they do? What does this club do now?
Well, the first thing they can't do is sack the manager.
Right.
They've done that, and I was part of David Moyes' staff. You know, David Moyes came in, 5-year contract, 10 months later sacked, and I witnessed firsthand there because I'd been a player there. I'd seen some great times there. I'd seen what great looks like with a great manager. And then when David Moyes came in and I went in with him, I was absolutely amazed with what I saw. The recruitment processes, the fact that they're more interested in the commercial side of the club and making money rather than what happened on the pitch. Then Mourinho, then Van Gaal, then Rangnick, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I remember when Rangnick left, I think they got beat one game and he left something on the club in terms of this club is not going to be successful unless it sorts itself out. And I think Man United need to sort itself out. And it's not just the manager. The manager's the last thing they need to sort out. They need to sort out from top to bottom. The training ground is old. The stadium is falling to bits. The ownership don't know what they're doing. The ownership want to sell, but they only want to sell a little bit. Who's in charge? Who runs recruitment? Every other club I see in that top half of the league, their club is being run better than Manchester United. Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in the world. To play for Manchester United is one of the most difficult things in the world. Why? Pressure, expectation, the history of the club is so difficult. And I just feel at this moment in time is that just keep changing the manager, getting rid of players. It's just that they need to sort out what's going on at the top, then filtering it down, and it'll all look after itself. But at this moment in time, getting rid of Erik ten Hag is fundamentally the wrong thing to do. Why? Because he's trying to change the culture. He's got rid of players that are not fitting in with the culture and discipline that's required to play at Manchester United. So why get rid of a man that's actually trying to do the things that really the most successful manager in the history of the club did so well?
But don't this club in some ways, Phil, have to stop kidding themselves, stop contrasting back to the United of your days and all the winning, because this is a very different club, it's a very different team.
Yeah.
And I think the thing we're all thinking, but nobody wants to say, this thing needs ripping up and starting again. It absolutely needs a rebuild. Yeah. Now, if Ten Hag's the right man, maybe Jim Ratcliffe and the new group are going to decide that, but a proper rebuild where you start, you have some consistency and you have things to build, because this group of players aren't good enough or consistent enough to start the rebuild to get Manchester United where they want to be.
1000%. If you're not consistent off the field, you're not going to be consistent on the field. The supporters are coming to the stadium every single week for the last 3 or 4 years wanting the ownership out. And I honestly, I witnessed it firsthand in terms of recruitment policy. I keep thinking about the players on the field and why did Man United not go out and get Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham? Why? Because they wanted to go to other clubs that were going to be more successful. So at this moment in time, Man United have got no divine right to win a trophy, to win a Premier League. I remember when Manchester United, when I was there, we started to win things, and Liverpool were the team that were the most dominant team, and they had to go through this period where their ex-players were looking back on history, on things about winning. Look, Manchester United did used to win things. At this moment in time, they're a million miles away. I said it yesterday, a million miles away from winning a Premier League. Why? Because the clubs that are going to win the Premier League are the ones that are structurally sound. They've got solid foundations that recruit players to fit the ethos, the philosophy, the values of that football club and that manager. And that's why at this moment in time, it's difficult being a Manchester United supporter.
But all that being said, Phil, you pick up a team sheet yesterday and look at Manchester United 1-11 and Bournemouth 1-11. Manchester United shouldn't be losing that game 3-0. There's two stats that stand out for Manchester United that are real red flags. A -3 goal difference, the only team in the top half of the table with a minus goal difference, and the only team in the Premier League to draw a game. And I was thinking about this last night. They've won 9, they've lost 7. When they're good or they're at it, they'll win a game. When they don't really fancy it, they'll lose a game. Yeah. How about a draw now and then? How about coming back in a game and having a draw? How about being 2-0 down to Bournemouth, saying, let's get together and let's get a point today. We've been really bad, let's get a point. It's like when United are not really at it, they throw it in.
I think this week sums up Manchester United. Newcastle, really, really poor performance, where people were questioning the effort, the attitude, the commitment, the discipline of the team. Chelsea on Wednesday night, incredible, unbelievable, reached the heights. Oh, United are back. We're going to go for the top 4. We can challenge Liverpool, etc. And then yesterday was diabolical. And they're actually really consistent at being inconsistent, and that's the thing that it just frustrates me, it worries me, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not just the manager, it's the whole club needs reshaping.
So the problem with reshaping a whole club is that the owners are going to have to be involved in that, and as we know at the moment they want to sell a bit, as you said. That's not even yet gone through, so we don't yet know when Jim Ratcliffe's going to come in and, according to reports, take over the football side of things. So all of this takeover talk has been going on for more than a year now. Yeah. So what are they supposed to do in the meantime? Is this just supposed to be a situation that fans are going to have to suck up, like Liverpool had to, like you said, for a long time, until the ownership changes? Or can things change, as Robbie talks about, on the field, despite the ownership?
No, it won't change. It will not change. It will keep.
So they're in this for the long haul now, the fans. They're going to have to get in this for another however many years that the owners are there.
Until the club sorts itself out, until the Glazers decide whether they're all in or all out. And I think they need to be all out. I've got to say, you can't just keep a piece of the pie because you like the fame, you like the money, you like the things that come with being owners of Manchester United. So until they sort their stuff out and get their ship in order, Manchester United fans and Manchester United players are going to be going through a lot of pain. I look at the league table. They're in 6th position at this moment in time. That, at this moment in time, is as good as it, I think, gets for this Manchester United team and Manchester United club. That's as good as it gets. They're not as good as the teams above. We watched Aston Villa yesterday. Man United aren't as good as Aston Villa. They're probably not as good as Newcastle. So 6th position at this moment in time might be as good as it gets for this football club until they sort the club out from top to bottom.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.